Hi everyone, welcome back to Desert Owl Forge. My name is Tim and today I'm going to teach you how to make these large forging pliers. Forging pliers are a good substitute for forging tongs and require much less skill set to make them. So let's get to it. The materials we need for this project will be 2 pieces of 3/16 by 3/4 inch flat stock cut at 19 inches of length and 3 pieces of 3/16 by 3/4 mild steel rivets. The tools we require are a cut-off hardy or a chisel, a 3-pound and a 2-pound hammers. So the first step is to mark our material at 10.5 inches from one end, like so. And this will be the end of our taper. We're gonna use our hardy or the chisel to mark this so we don't lose the mark in the heat. Just like so. Okay. Next we're gonna heat up this end and forge the taper of the tip of the pliers. So to forge the tip of our pliers first, we're gonna forge a very steep taper, creating the very point, flattening it out, turning again 180 degrees. You're doing double taps to have more control. And then we're gonna go on our horn to draw it out on the curved surface. So we come here and start working our way up the length of the material. And we're going to reduce the width to about half of the 3/4 to 3/8. So you can come back here, smoothing and flattening out everything. And with the next heat, we're going to go further back. Here we go again, just forging down until we reach our mark, and then we stop and go back and kind of just smooth out everything, make sure everything looks parallel and nice and straight. Now that we forged the tip of our tweezers and drawn out everything to the right length, we're going to put a little chamfer on the edges. We're going to use a 2-pound hammer for that. So we're going to strike lightly, tilting the hammer and just making a little chamfer. This will be the outside of our tweezers, and it's just a little aesthetic and also a little easier to grab small things with it this way. It doesn't have that sharp edge. But on the inside, you want the sharp edge because that way you can grab easier. So we're using light hammer strikes and fast. You don't want to stretch too much out, you just want to take off the edge. I'm going to go all the way up to our mark, like so. And then straighten everything out. When you're doing this, the longer heat you have, the better it is. So it gives you plenty of time to work. If you have short heats, you gotta reheat it every time. So after, you have to straighten everything up and forge the other piece to match this one. When you're straightening everything up, it's better to do it when it's cold. It gives you more control over. When it's hot, it's going to be too soft and go all over the place. So next we're gonna put some serrations on the opposite side of our chamfer. This is gonna be the inside of the tweezers, and this will aid us to grab smaller items. Just use a 2-pound hammer and very lightly tap on the metal. You don't want to cut too deep because that will weaken it, but you want to have enough to have those little serrations. That will really help you when you're grabbing very small pieces. Just go back. If you don't find it enough, just go back in between. We're going to do this to about 2 inches at the end. So you can use the chisel and the vise to do the same thing. Do the serrations, just slightly tap it. Make sure the chisel is resting on the center of the vise so it doesn't slip down easily. Next step, we're gonna shape our tweezer halves. Before we proceed with this step, make sure everything is straight, flat, and no twists are in the pieces. We're gonna work cold, and we're gonna come over to the horn of the anvil and face the tweezers inside up. You're gonna bend the about 1.5 inches of the end and bend it down. There's going to be the part when the two halves will connect, and then flip it over and give a slight bend to place the mark on the anvil, and give a slight back this end as well, and it's like so. And then we come back and give it a slight curve. You can flip back and forth, back and forth, until we have the desired curvature. When you hit something like this, this part will bend down and the other end will come up. So as you can see, you have a bend in here. We're going to straighten it up. And we still need to go more here. So you're going to flip it over and just go like this. So after we finish shaping the two halves, they're going to look somewhat like this. You want to have about a 1/2 inch gap in between the points, so when you connect them and flex them, they will close properly. So next we're going to connect the two halves using the 3/16 by 3/4 rivets. But first we're going to drill the holes. So first we're going to mark the holes for drilling. I'm going to measure from the end 3/8 of an inch in, and then 1/2 inch from there and 1/2 inch from there. And I'm going to drill them on the center, right there, right there. We're going to drill one side first, and then we're going to match the holes to the other side. We finished drilling our holes. As you can notice, I did countersink some of the holes. That is to accept the material when we rivet it and be flush, so when we flip it over, it won't be in our way. For this, to rivet this, we use a small hammer. So we pair up our pieces and place a rivet through. Put the rivet head where there is no countersink and place it straight on the anvil, and we're just gonna hammer it down into that countersink so it's flush. And then we flip it over and put one there, and also hammer it down. And then the last one. When you drill your holes, make sure everything is in line, so don't have the two halves crooked. This is going to be very difficult to fix that after. The final step is to adjust the shape of our tweezers so they function properly. As you can see, the jaws are closed right now, so you can grab anything. To tweak it, we're going to open it by hand and just pull them apart until we have the desired gap and springiness. A little bit more. As the material gets fatigued and loses springiness, you just open it up again, and you can keep it all functioning for a long time. So this is it. We successfully made a pair of forging tweezers. Before I wrap up this video, I would like to talk about the usefulness of these tweezers. They can replace forging tongs in many, but not in all applications. They're very useful to handle small items in and out of the forge, like these nails, and forging small items like these spacers. I actually prefer forging the spacers with the tweezers because they expand freely. There's a round jaw version and there's a heavy duty version which actually you can forge with. It can hold a 3/8 round or similar material. But the biggest advantage of these is that you can make them with a limited skill set. Forging tongs, making tongs can be challenging for a beginner because it involves a lot of precise shoulders and section changes. So this is the end of this lesson. I hope you learned something new today. I definitely want to see pictures of the tweezers you guys made, so send them to me. My email is messagedesertowlforge@hotmail.com. You will find it in the description below. If you like to support my channel, please subscribe, like, share, and comment below. If you want to see my work, please visit my website www.desertowlforge.com. Thanks for watching and see you next time.